What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the ranking of all strikers in FIFA 23. Strikers, wingers, anybody that is attacking, pretty much from footies, level up, shapeshifter, and some of the top end team of the seasons. If you see somebody in this list or don't see them, for instance, make sure you put it in the comment section below and I'll let you know what tier they should be, as we are starting to drop off now on a lot of the lower end team of the seasons. I feel like footies, all of them kind of newer cards, have definitely blown them out of the water. We're going to start off with Terrier, a very easy one in my opinion. We are going for the premium ones as well. If you think, okay, I only managed to get the 91 Terrier, didn't quite finish him off, normally I'd go a rank lower just because we did see an inform or two upgrade, but a lot of them did get skill move or weak foot upgrades as well. So we didn't want to go with the bottom ones, we'll just go with the top. And I think with Terrier, a great winger that we've had throughout the entire year. A few SBCs from Player of the Months to Centurions, and also having a rule breaker at the start. It's just a fitting end for him. Sterling, on the other hand, another great card. I do think he, again, is one of the topper end wingers. Still not necessarily my number one in the Prem. I feel like Salah definitely takes that. But in terms of where we're going with, I feel like S is a fitting picture for him. I am going to be very brutal as well with these players. So if you think maybe the ratings are a little bit off, I'm trying to make it that we don't have an overload in S1, as I found that to be a real big thing last time. Whereas S is going to be just under the S1. AS will become the new, instead of just putting them as a low S, that is where they'll go. Son, on the other hand, I've seen mixed opinions, to be honest. I actually think he's such a good card this year. I felt the team of the season moments was still a good card, even though he was coming in quite cheap. I personally would go S1 for him, but I have definitely seen a lot more people not really rate him that much. Let me know your thoughts on him. Thiago Silva, again with the shapeshifter gimmick of the strikers out of position. I did like him as a card. I didn't think he was as fantastic as what we've seen from a lot more of the strikers. So for me, I'm going to be brutal with him. He is going to go in this AS. Again, any kind of ratings, let me know your thoughts. Don't go completely berserk saying I don't know FIFA, all of that jazz. I've been playing it a long time. These are my opinions and basically what I would prefer in my attacking lineup. So always let me know yours. I'll never downgrade you for knowing your opinion on a player. You may really like Thiago Silva's and obviously Sanchez up front. Might not be my cup of tea. I do think Hugo Sanchez, in terms of what card he is and when he kind of came out, a stunning card to still be in this list. A lot of icons definitely have still managed to put themselves in the talking point. I do think he's starting to drop down a little bit now, especially with some of the footies that we've got. There is an exceptional amount of top end cards now in the game. Sanchez, on the other hand, another great one. From the fantasy foot all the way to this team of the season, it is a beautiful card of dribbling, pace, good amount of shooting, and passing and physicality taking a boost up as well. I think for me, he is again another one that is relatively nice and comfortable in that S. We do have Salah. Again, like I said, he's probably my favourite Prem winger. There is a lot of good wingers as well. Sterling, Martinelli, Saka, Salah, Rashford. There is a good amount that you can go for. Even Son at the top there. Whether I think, personally for me, I would say S1 starting to slip into the S. I think if we got a 98-99 Salah, that would be the easy end game for him. Whether we do see it, I feel like we're starting towards it because we've got Messi, got Ronaldo. There is obviously a Neymar more than likely coming, Mbappe potentially, and Haaland. I think Salah's got to be somewhere on that list. I think 99 would suit him perfectly. In terms of what we're looking at now, I want to say the only thing that sways my opinion, if we quickly look, is he's not a 5-5, is he? No, he's a 5-3. For me, especially with the cards now that we're getting so many 5-5s, I feel like he has to go there. We've got a lot, and there is a difference between them where you'll see a lot of these footies coming forward. Saka, on the other hand, still a phenomenal card, and I think for me, he is one of the cheaper cards that really comes in at a top level. He is a 4-star, 5-star as well. Can be left and right on the wings, which is again always great for versatility. If I'm thinking, where am I thinking? Because I think he doesn't quite overtake Sterling for me. He's very good, don't get me wrong, and he doesn't overtake Salah on the right. Martinelli now having a left wing, I'd probably have to put him in this AS. Again, if I am being really, really brutal on the ratings, I don't want to say that all of them are S, because there is a lot of top end cards, but I want to differentiate between the two. St. Max, on the other hand, To be honest, I don't really see him very often. I feel like if you was looking for a French team, a Newcastle team, he has got to be in there. In terms of what he cost at the point he cost compared to now, there's just no point in having him. I feel like he's a good card, but probably, am I being really harsh with him? He's not a 5'5", I'm pretty sure. I want to say 5'4" at the minimum. 5'4" at the minimum. 96 pace. It's the shooting and passing that really let it off now, because we've got so many all-round cards. Like you look at Son, for instance, he's not a physical person and yet he's still got 80. We've got the pace, the shooting, the dribbling, all at 96 and above, and having the 91 passing. It is the natural progression of cards. I think I'd be too rough to put him in that A. I feel like AS is kind of justified. A would be where I'm looking at definitely in the next coming weeks when we do start to get even more footies and the final cards of the game. Rodrigo, on the other hand, absolutely love him as a shapeshifter. Better than Thiago Silva in my opinion, and he will happily go into this S category. And the only reason why I've kind of kept Rooney into this is purely on the fact that I can talk that he is going to get a cover star. Him and Ronaldinho have got to be the front runners to get them. We've already got a Roberto Carlos. I cannot wait to see a 97, 98 Rooney, a 99 Ronaldinho. That would be insane. So I am hoping, for God's sake, we do manage to get one, because he would be absolutely stunning in a cover star. I don't think he does much in his FUT birthday version. I personally think it's unfortunate. He definitely was okay at his FUT birthday, but most definitely now is really on the back end of strikers. R9, on the other hand, we're going to shoot him straight to the top, as we know full well R9 is just R9. Incredible in every single way. Same with 99 Ronaldo now. We have just got a running of the R's. Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. Very, very easy. 99 rated. You cannot argue with him whatsoever. We're going to try and put him a little bit closer. Then we obviously have Ronaldinho, another cracking card. Team of the year, still relevant, still very, very expensive, with another one that is bound to get a cover star. The amount of times Rooney and Ronaldinho were on that cover, I cannot imagine them not to be on there. We've got a few others in. I think Lampard is kind of recent. We then have, I'm pretty sure I had a list somewhere, Shevchenko, Vieira, Kaká. And that's really about it, to be honest. In terms of actual icons, if they went for like a Royce who was on it, or a Hazard, that would have been really nice, and it could have just been cover stars and cover star icons, and even cover star heroes if there was one. But Ronaldinho stays up there, and we also have our footies, Rodrigo, another cracking card that came out as an SBC for the second week. 970,000 coins, but is a 5-star. And this is the difference now between the wingers. The Vinny that is yet to come from the season pass, the Son, the Rodrigo, many others in Insigne, in also Shaqiri, some absolutely cracking ones that you can get. Rodrigo, though, is obviously putting himself into the S1. I feel like them sort of cards have to. And I feel like Richarlison has definitely just been overtaken by him. He is, again, a shapeshifter that is now right wing. A little bit taller than Rodrigo, but a 5'5" as well, which always adds a great depth to him. I'm going to go for a top-end S, but not quite in the S1 for me. I do think he is a nice card, but definitely not seen as much in kind of many games, to be honest. And it might be just down to the fact he was a little bit harder to pack. We do have a Royce left wing. There is actually a 97 Cam that will be in the midfielder list, whereas the 93, I feel like he's pretty much done now. With the 97, I probably should have took this one out, as realistically, he's not going to be involved in much. He was an SBC, but now we have that 97 that looks absolutely delicious. We then have Rashford, very, very easy one for him. And again, even Rashford, to be honest, is going to start to come down as we get more and more into this footage, because naturally he isn't necessarily going to be the best of the best all the time, but now he is still definitely putting up some numbers in that S1. And look, thinking of what cards we've got to come, this S1 category is going to get quickly filled. Rafinha, on the other hand, another great SBC, would say he's starting to drop down now into the wingers. We have got an abundance. I think wingers are something that we have far too many of. Strikers, again, it's kind of pick and choose. There's one striker that's in everybody's team, it seems, and then it's mixed with an Mbappe, a CR7, a Ronaldo, a Eusebio, a Gullit, a Cruyff. Whereas when it comes to the wings, there is a lot of choice that you can go with. Rafael Leao is definitely coming in at one of the better ones, though, in terms of a wing. And obviously, when I'm talking about Son being an ES1, it is as a winger. R9 as a striker. There's no kind of overlap that Son is just as good as R9 or R9 is even better than, well, to be honest, everybody. But you know what I mean? They're all in there for the positions. If it's a left wing, I'm judging on a left wing basis unless I say. Puskás, on the other hand, and I must admit, this is probably the first year where I think Puskás is just not really as relevant in my opinion. And I think that is a hard thing to say because there is a lot of top end cards that only come close to Puskás. But now we're in the end game. There's only a few that come up into that top, and I don't think Puskás is one of them. When he's not been in the team for months now, to be honest, we've managed to pack him out of an icon pack, and he's just on the reserves. There's not even on the bench. That is the level of strikers we do have in this game. Pogba being one of them, most definitely. What a player he is. A 97 rated as well, which is obviously still coming in at a very big cost of a whopping 3.6 million. 5'5" is naturally an incredible player. You would prefer him in that cam centre mid role. Defending has taken a bit of a hit, but you could go with a shadow and still put him in an attacking role. But he is obviously going into the S1. That he's such an incredible player, and at the height of 6'3", such a dominant performance as well. Especially if you are linking him up with Milinkovic-Savic, Abraham, Cech. That's a big midfield if you're asking for one. We then have Pepe, 93 shapeshifter. Good upgrade again at 4-star, 5-star nonetheless. Good pace, dribbling, the standard stuff from these shapeshifters, and also is a nice premium, which always takes into the mix because it means we don't have to put any links with him. If I'm being brutal with him, I think AS is probably more his style. Very, very cheap as well. So if you wanted a cheap, fast player that doesn't need links, that is going to be your guy. Pepe Reina, on the other hand, another great card from obviously the outfielders going into the striking roles, the wingers, the defenders, all of that jazz. And he definitely put in a shift. But I think now starting to kind of come down in terms of my opinion with the rest of them bar from one. I'd like to tell you about skycoach.gg. They offer many features within the FIFA franchise, from FIFA coins to FIFA Weekend League boosts, from trusted sellers, pro players, and are the best prices on the market currently. They have fast delivery, high quality services, lots of games, and also a cashback program. The more coins you buy, the more eligible you are for cashback options. So if you want to buy FIFA coins at the best price, click the link in the description of this video. It will be active promo code for 10% discount from my subscribers. All you have to use is the code JT11 at the checkout to receive this bonus. On to the video. Then we have 99 Pele. I think it's as easy as anything. He will just transcend himself into that S1. The first 99 we had this year, and most definitely still absolutely exquisite. He's got the 98, which would still be an S1. Naturally, Pele's in-game just performance is impeccable, and I'd definitely love to get the 99 in the squad at some point. Pedro Goncalves, nice card, and to be honest, one of the final ones in the minor leagues from the team of the season that's coming in still very top end. The physicality's definitely taken that little bit of a hit, and I can't remember if he was a 5'4", I want to say. I don't think he was a 5'5". A 5'4", 71,000 coins still. Very, very good super sub at the minimum, and he would definitely drop into that AS if I'm being brutal with him. Oshimen, on the other hand, again, I'm starting to see this card a little bit lower now. In terms of the strikers that we're seeing, Oshimen has definitely been taken out of teams. And I saw him, Leao, and also Kvaratskhelia so many times. It's like everybody packed him bar for myself, but now he's gone. Czech's replaced him. R9 is just out of nowhere. CR7 99's team of the moments, and obviously Messi as well. So I think for me, I'm going to drop him down into the S. Again, just going off opinion based from what I see from when I've used him, I feel like now there is another ranking above him. In terms of team of the season, it was months ago now. We've managed to get Shapeshifters, 2 weeks of that, or 3 weeks of that in fact. Level up 2 weeks, 2 weeks of footies. The card should naturally just get better. And if Oshimen was managed to get another card, we could see him going again. We then have, obviously, Nunez as the level up. I love this card. I personally really rate Nunez in the game. In terms of when we had him as the gold right at the very start, I thought this guy could go places in terms of the absolute top because he was lengthy. He had the absolute position. He's now a 5'5". I do think without the lengthy, because they managed to change the requirements of it, because he's 6'1", he is still controlled, which is just such a shame, as 98 pace with lengthy would have been absolutely nuts with him. In terms of what we can offer though, I do think he is an absolute top end sort of striker, and if I'm thinking of what we've got coming, I'd be very, very harsh to go S1 with what we've got in Oshimen, because I think they are very similar in terms of their attributes. Obviously, Oshimen, I think, is a little bit taller, I want to say. 6'3" or 6'4". I know, 6'1". Always thought he was taller, so exactly the same height as Nunez. I feel like they're on that same par length. When it comes to Nkunku, though, I really like him in a different manner of what Oshimen and Nunez does, because he is definitely more the agility based. He is a little bit smaller in what he does, and obviously the 95 was just the cap off to what we've got. He is a 5'5", if I've not already said that, 910k still, and I do think in terms of kind of his ability on the ball is incredible. Very quick at the turn. He's got the skills. He's got the pace. The shooting, the passing's there. The only thing he misses is a bit of physicality, but the agility balance really makes up for that. And I personally really rate him as a card, so he will go into that S1. Again, let me know opinions. Neymar, very, very easy. I will imagine Neymar does get a footies at some point, because there's just no way that we stick with this 96. We want a 99 Neymar. That would be absolutely nuts to finish off the trio, the Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi. Maybe we see an Mbappe and a Haaland as well. Again, there is hopefully a couple of weeks left of footies, so we should see all and above going forward. Neuer, on the other hand, very much like Rudiger, I feel like he is a good striker in terms of what we can kind of expect. Nostalgic vibe is kind of running off now, as we see Czech week in, week out. It kind of gets annoying now seeing all of these goalkeepers outfield. They're so tall and they're so incredibly good. I do think for me Rudiger is better than Neuer, and I do think with kind of being harsh and kind of going for it, Neuer will sit in that AS, as I don't really see him that much now. We have then another new striker in Muriel in the objectives of the monthly Foot Champs rewards. Again, nice little option there. You can get him for 15 wins, I want to say 15 or 20 wins that you can go for. And again, look at the striker, 99 pace, 97 dribbling. He is definitely one of the better ones, and I'm pretty sure, did he get the 5-5 upgrade? He did indeed, of course he did. As well as then the premium, he's an easy one going into this S category as a striker. Gerd Muller, another one that I think definitely could do with the upgrade now. Obviously never a cover star, so it is what it is with him. But I do think he is slowly starting to drop. The kind of new icon feel is definitely wearing off. He's now coming in at 100,000 coins. 4-star, 4-star. Not really anything to show. I'd probably go for other strikers. So I am going to put him with Rooney in the lower tier, which is absolutely mental to think for a 95 rated icon already. Messi, on the other hand, incredible. 99 rated, 5-5, premium, in his new team, in the new dynamic. Absolutely sensational. Hopefully, we do see another Messi at some point in the coming years, because I don't think I'm ready to give him up yet. 99 Messi and Ronaldo has been for literally the past 12, 15 years. It's absolutely immense. But it is all about this man right here. Mbappe is the easiest S1 in this game. I'd probably even go as far to say his gold card's probably still there. It's just naturally how he works in the game. Next year, I do predict that Messi, Mbappe and Haaland will be pretty much as good as each other in their own rights. If Haaland gets his own body type, then it is literally good night, because that will be the next step for Haaland. I feel like having that high average body type is not going to do him any favours. R9 has his own body type. Do we see a Haaland type coming in the near future, which would be very interesting to see. Martinez is a 94, good shapeshifter, down the wing from a centre-back role into the right wing. I think he's got a bit about him. Obviously the pace-wise and dribbling is always nice, but in terms of what we've got already, I would definitely prefer Salah in my opinion. I'd go for Sterling over him. So it is kind of that just wrong place, wrong time. Maybe when he first came out, the interested new kind of shapeshifter vibe always adds that benefit. But now we are starting to get into the top end, and unfortunately he doesn't make it into the S for me. Martinez, on the other hand, one of the final ones from the Serie A that I actually really like. I do think he's not quite as good as Oshimen in my opinion. Oshimen has just got that different vibe about him. Martinez as well being the 4-4, good pace, shooting, dribbling, all of the above is nice, but he will still come just that little bit under, and now coming in at 124k, which is absolutely nuts to see. We also then have Martial. Honestly, we've got a centre mid version, but we've used his road to the final, which we are just going to put straight in the A. Again, with that sort of card, we've got a 97 of him. We're not looking at the road to the final. We're looking at all of the footies, if anything. Mane, on the other hand, another great card from the moments. Do like him on the wing more so than a striker, and I'd say, in terms of left wings, we're looking at kind of Terrier sort of vibe. I'd probably go with Terrier now. So I think Mane will drop down that little bit more. Again, another one that could be a shoe-in for a footage to kind of see him off. Whether we see what happens next year for him, it'll be an interesting one to see what sort of cards we do get. Malin, on the other hand, nice card, but unfortunately doesn't fit my bill. I think AS is as far as he goes. I'd liked him as a striker to some extent, but it was kind of more for the lacking of strikers and attackers in the Bundesliga that really kind of made him that more viable than anybody. Then we have Mahrez, one of my favourite strikers. 5'5" and a shapeshifter, pace, dribbling, passing, shooting, everything and above is incredible for him. I'm going to put him as kind of the lowest S1 that we can go for. I personally think if we're looking at between the Mbappes, the Ronaldinhos, the Ronaldos, he's definitely under them, but I think he's over everybody else. He is absolutely exceptional in game, if I'm being honest. We then have Harry Maguire as his 95 shapeshifter. I think by the time we got to Harry Maguire in Team 3, I was done with these strikers. We already had Czech. Everybody had just goalkeeper central. It wasn't really a kind of a nice thing anymore. So a bit of a sour taste for Harry Maguire, unfortunately. And I do think he does drop down underneath Rudiger. Lukaku, on the other hand, again, was never a big fan. I thought he did okay in the Serie A Cup. But in terms of kind of really turning it on compared to what we saw from Kane, I just don't think he has it in him. Then have Luis Figo, the 95 striker, good shapeshifter, very much everything about him is very nice. The only thing that I was unsure, I don't think he got the 5'5", no, he's a 4'5", so that kind of makes it a bit easier for myself. I love the stats, I thought the card itself was really nice, alongside having the centre mid, was it? Yeah, centre mid version, and I think it was a 5'4" for the striker. Yeah, so 4'5" for the centre mid, 5'4" for the striker, and obviously the midfielder is going to be a little bit more expensive, as that is kind of the position he is better at. If I want to put him in the, I'm gonna go S. I feel like S is probably about right for him. Maybe with another week or two of footers, we could drop him down, but I think for right now, judging from what we're going with here, it's about right in my opinion. We then have Links. Great left wing. I absolutely loved this card. From the upside down challenge, premium left wing, incredible amounts of pace, passing, dribbling, everything and above was phenomenal for this guy. So he is an easy S. He would have been close to an S1 for kind of like when he first came out, but definitely dropping down a little bit more. Lewandowski definitely lost the flavour for me. I feel like he is an incredible striker. In terms of a finisher, he is absolutely extraordinary. Everything else about the game, I would 100% rather have Kane. So for me, he is dropping down into that AS now. Again, some people may absolutely love him. I personally don't think he's really that good anymore. In terms of what we've got, he doesn't come close. Lacazette, on the other hand, great striker. I want to know what was his price now, because he was one of them strikers that was expensive to start with and then really dipped in price. He's now at 229, which is still a little bit expensive compared to what we've seen, and I think easily he's going in there with a 5'4" as an S category more than anything. Kvaratskhelia, beautiful card that I never know if I'm pronouncing right, but we love the name. He is the beautiful left wing in the Serie A, and another one that will 100% pick himself into that S1 and nearly put a list and a whack there. Kolo Muani, the new footed striker. The question was a lot of people were kind of comparing him to Lewandowski, whether you kind of prefer either or. I really liked Kolo in terms of the card, and I did think his team of the season during the Bundes Cup was a very good card. He is very cheap in terms of what the price is, and he's still there until the 1st of August. So if you're watching this video on release, you've got until 6 PM English time to get him done. Otherwise, he is gone. I'm going to go above Lewandowski, but not by much. I think he's a great card, but not quite above the S1 in my opinion. Harry Kewell, though, great card. I love this card. In terms of Harry, we really rated his his fantasy foot. That one was obviously going to be Prem. This one has gone into the Turkish league. You don't really need it too much because obviously he does have the ability to have the free chem anyway, but for links wise, he's not going to give you any more Prem. I personally really rate him. It is a shame that they didn't give him the 5.5. For that reason only, I'm going to go into the S. If they did give him 5.5, I feel like he was an easy contender for the S1. And then Ryan Kent appeared. The first player you can get, at least for footies, from the season pass. Nobody's got Kent, nobody's got Jota, and nobody's got Vinny. As of yet, we may have an objective today or tomorrow, which obviously would or should give you enough to get there. Ryan Kent, 5.5, great pace, great ability. I do see him more as a super sub, if anything. Whether we do see it because he is a premium, might be able to do the job. But as a preconception for him, I'm going to go into the S with the hope that he is better than what we kind of expect from him, because he could, again, be a very nice free card that we do have. We have Harry Kane. Definitely not S1. I think Kane is a phenomenal striker and still very good in this game with the body type and stats working alongside each other. But I don't think he's going to go into the S1. He's above Lewandowski in my opinion, and definitely one of the better strikers we've got for the build that he is as well. But he most definitely is not heading into the S1 with Mahrez. Jota, on the other hand, again, like Pedro Goncalves, very good super sub. I do rate him under Pedro, so for me, he will stick into that A now. And again, like I said, we are losing a lot of the A category now from the minor team of the seasons, as they really don't shape up with a lot of these cards. Jimenez, on the other hand, great card. Love the striking ability. Love the dynamics with the 3 different poses. It's just something extra. There's nothing too crazy about it. None of them are on the market. They all come from the objective. I think in terms of him, though, he is a bit underwhelming in my opinion. He's not necessarily going to sit too many teams, and I feel like we've got a lot of strikers in the Prem that just overtake him nonetheless. Jesus, on the other hand, is one of them. Very easy one to put in there from the community, and he easily gets into one of the top spots of the Prem. We then have Jairzinho, the 93 right wing. Again, one that I do think, in terms of right wings goes, he's held himself in a very top end sort of standard. Whether I would say he's there now, like I said, the wingers that we've got have been extraordinary. He's a 5.5 still, which is just incredible in himself. 2.1 million for the SBC as well. I personally would say he's definitely dropped off a little bit. When you're looking at the right wings, we've got a Pele that could be right wing. We've obviously got a Neymar that can be there. Messi can be there. And then Mbappe is just the left-hand side. Rodrigo, there's a lot of cards that I'd prefer over him personally. And I think we are waiting for the next level of him if we was to get one. Isak, on the other hand, again, dropping down. Really rate him in my opinion. I think he's a very spitting image of Zlatan in terms of kind of the height, the ability, the strength, the shooting, the pace. It all works like how it does for Zlatan, but now he is definitely needing that upgrade to take him into that next level. We have Insigne. Great card. Him and Shaqiri together are stunning. Very quick down the wing. Very quick, very affordable, cheap, nice and easy, and definitely an end game with that premium. Ibra, on the other hand, I feel like we've got to go next to Isak. They are both very unique in their positioning because there is very little players that are of the height with the ability that they do possess. As well, both being Swedish always helps. But Henry, we have to move on to this card because what a card this is. The best Henry we have seen ever. They fixed his balance. They made him a 5.5. They changed him to left foot to go on that cut-in. He's still 7.5 million coins. I would love this guy in the team because he is absolutely incredible. If you've never used him, try and find him in a draft if you can because genuinely he is one of the best icons we've played with so far. Haaland, another one that's easily going to go into the S1. I feel like if you play with him in a rushing manner, might not feel as good as if you kind of hold the ball with him. Maybe you get the right spin, outside of the box, power shots, head-in volleys. He has got the whole package in terms of finishing. Pace-wise, it's definitely good. And like I said, if he does get his body type, he will be an absolute menace next year. Griezmann, on the other hand, I really didn't expect Griezmann to get another one. I thought he was done with his team of the season, and yet we have still managed to get another one on top. Only a double upgrade, but a double upgrade with a 5-star, 5-star as well. Griezmann is sitting pretty at the S1. I absolutely love a Griezmann card, and he works 100% of the time. Götze, on the other hand, nice premium right wing. Very nice card in general, but I would say he's definitely dropping in comparison to a lot of the wingers we do have. So he is going to sit in that AS. Gnabry, another German winger. One that I've never been too much of a fan. Gnabry, Coman, Sane. I've just not ever been a fan of them personally. They are good cards and most definitely in terms of pricing, not bad whatsoever. But unfortunately for me, they do not make the bench of the benches team. It's just that unfortunate for him. With Ginola, though, again, another card we could definitely use an upgrade with, because 92 into a potential 98 footage hero, that would be a card everyone would pay money for. Still an S1 nonetheless. He's still absolutely incredible. 5'5", has that striking natural ability, and will still put in goals like it's no other. Same with Garrincha. We saw him obviously with another shapeshifter, from Pele to Garrincha to Henry. There is so many good shapeshifter icons. They did very, very well with that promo. We then have Galeno, another nice little premium kind of SBC, normal SBC in fact, not a premium. 99 pace, dribbling, shooting, the standard that we get now. And this is the kind of point of the lower team of the seasons just not being in this list anymore. Whereas that is an SBC that literally, I think, costs you like 30, 40,000. There's just no point having the lower team in the seasons when you can go get it. 53,000 for him, 99 pace, Brazilian left mid. Can be left wing as well, obviously, and I think a 5-star, 4-star. So I'll take a break off him. If I'm being brutal with him, I don't think he's quite as good as Insigne in my opinion. Pace-wise is very nice, but the premium adds another level to him. So I am going to drop him into the AS. Again, being or trying to be as brutal as possible. We then have Gabriel Martinelli. Didn't think that he'd actually get another upgrade, as it just seemed that Arsenal cards were being shafted. But we do have the 96. Unfortunately, didn't get that 5'5", which would have been just, it would solidify him as the best Prem left wing. Unfortunately, we didn't, so it is just what it is. We've got the 94, which is now coming in at 300. Now, obviously, the 96 is unavailable. Whether we see that re-release of the objective to finish off the game would be very interesting in itself, but a 96 nonetheless, that is 100% going into that S+. I think he is a brilliant card. From his team of the season, it was unfortunate that he just didn't get that upgrade from a 91 to a 93. Now we've got the 96. It is much better. Fulkrug, easy one to go into that A. Unfortunately, he's just not there. Let's be real. He is not going to be a striker that people are going to be using in their main team. We then have Frankowski, great shapeshifter, and to be honest, the fact that we was only talking about him literally not even a month ago, and yet now we are starting to see wingers that are really replacing him in that aspect, is a big shame, to be honest. I do think for the card himself, very good stats throughout, nearly maxed out pace, physicals on a good level. We've obviously got the dribbling that's immense, decent passing, decent shooting, a premium as well, which adds a little bit of value. He has got to go into that S for me. And also have Forlan. Beautiful footies hero, obviously came out during this week. Again, good shooting, which is just the main thing with him. Pace has been upgraded, good dribbling. He's a 4-star, 5-star as well, that's coming in at 107,000 coins. Easy S for me. Definitely one that could have been that slight bit better, but I feel like in terms of a card, especially as a hero, he's one that you will like in general. Foden, on the other hand, don't really see him too much, to be fair to him. He did get the upgrade for either the Champions League final or the FA Cup final. I couldn't remember which one was which. I want to say Gundogan was FA Cup final, so it makes sense that he is Champions League. Great winger, but unfortunately not really used as much, purely for the fact that you had to finish the SBC for him. Same with Firmino. Nice card, definitely lower valued now in my opinion, coming into that AS more than anything. In terms of a kind of a centre-forward striker, he doesn't kind of just, he doesn't go with the rest. If you're a Liverpool fan, then obviously you would kind of want him anyway, but most definitely compared to the strikers we've got, he doesn't fit that mould. Ferran Torres, on the other hand, definitely does in the first section of that level 2 of the S. Easy 94, an easy card going up front, very, very quick. Eusebio, on the other hand, so we did have a Puskás that was in the lower side, because normally we would go straight S1, Puskás, Eusebio, Cruyff, all of that and beyond. I do think Eusebio is still there in my opinion. When it comes to Puskás, I feel like he was kind of that later addition, whereas Eusebio, Cruyff, R9 always had that extra kind of bit of grit that really did well with. Eusebio especially, I want to say, if I can get his name right, he is a 5-5 in this FUT birthday, whereas Puskás isn't. I thought so. Eusebio, the first 5-5 we've got, whereas obviously with Puskás, still a 4-5, so unfortunately, it doesn't add that to me. We then have Eto'o, the easiest S1 I'm going to put in here. I absolutely love the Shapeshifters, like I've already said, 15 times over, from Garrincha, Van Persie, Henry, Pele, the whole shebang. They did really well with the icons on that promo. Dybala, obviously showing himself up here. I'd be saying S more than anything for him. I think he could argue between going down maybe one, but I still think he's definitely got a bit of play in him. Diogo Jota, beautiful card, not one that we've actually got, but I cannot wait to see what he can actually do in-game, as obviously he's gone from his 92 fantasy all the way up to a 5-5 96. He should have some play, definitely. I'm going to go S for now, but I feel like he has definitely got the shout to be in that S1, but it would be interesting to see what cards are actually out once we are able to get him, because we can't even get Kent yet, so we are literally probably a week or two away from getting Jota as well. Diaby, on the other hand, again, nice card, definitely during the Bundesliga, puts himself at a nice kind of running speed here. Now, unfortunately, he will drop down that little bit more in terms of the pace element being the major thing that you get from him. Super sub, maybe even just starting to get that pace up and down the wing, but I feel like now cards need that little bit of extra as well, that bit of shooting that is above 90 as well. Di Natale, though, still puts himself in that S category. Was hoping we do get a footies hero for him, as a 95-96 Di Natale would be endgame for Serie A. Di Maria, on the other hand, I want to say he did manage to get himself another 5-5, which again is absolutely incredible, as that card suffers heavily from a weak foot. Very much like Rivaldo, Di Maria just doesn't have a weak foot. So in terms of this card, I'm going to go and try and sneak him into this S1. We haven't got enough categories, and this is why I didn't want to put too many up there, but we can see Di Maria, Del P, nice and easy one into that S. Again, very much like Dalglish. He's a nice card, and definitely when he came out, he was top dollar. Now we've got cards that are 5-5 coming out of our ears. Unfortunately, goes into that massive pile that just stays there. Same with Jonathan David. Beautiful card. Unfortunately, is just a standard good striker now. I don't think he's quite in the level of your Ronaldos, your Mbappes, your Mahrezes. He's definitely up there, but only because he is cheap. Same with Dalglish, like we said with Del P, the exact same scenario. Very, very good card. Obviously got himself a 5-5 in the end, but unfortunately, we are starting to see the lower side of him now. When it comes to Cruyff, though, I am surprised, other than the World Cup, we haven't had a next level Cruyff. I'd have loved a shapeshifter left wing Cruyff, but it seemed to be they already had everybody else sorted. Whereas Cruyff has always been a 5-5. He is still as good as ever on this game, and you just cannot beat him when you're coming up against him, because his dribbling is still absolutely immense. And then I have Corona, 94, 5-5 already. His gold card is still a 5-5, which is just incredible in itself. An easy S for me for this one. Really, really rate his pace. He just does it very, very comfortably. Like we said with Coleman and Gnabry and Sane, just never been a fan, and it's nothing personal to them. I just never can get on with them. It's just my personal preference. The Bundesliga, there's very few. It's normally Kimmich, Goretzka, maybe a centre-back every now and then, and Neuer. And Nkunku, I suppose, is a new one from this year, but normally when it comes to the standard old players, they just don't do anything for me. Chiesa, on the other hand, definitely a nicer card. Again, he comes in as a 93 with some very, very good stats compared to when he was out. He did get a 91 road to the final. He is a 4-4. I'd personally start to be knocking him down a little bit. We'll kind of put him under just because Diaby's kind of on that level. I will drop him down that little bit more. And then we have Cech. Well, Cech is just that most annoying striker in the world. If you've not used him, try him, get his loan, give him a go, and just fall in love with him because everybody else has. He is just a stupid striker. Lengthy, strength, shooting, heading, volleys, passing, everything. Cech can do everything, and it is infuriating that I've got to have him in the team. We don't get to put 2 strikers anymore. It's Cech and somebody else because he is literally that good. Cavani, on the other hand, very much like Forlan. Phenomenal finish, absolutely deadly in front of goal. Pace-wise is good, but definitely not the best. Dribbling-wise has been upgraded, which again is always a bonus for him. But I feel like he just lacks that end finish of an S1 striker. He's definitely up there, but not as the top level, if I'm being honest. Same with Cantona this year. I don't feel like I've seen many, if any, Cantonas. Maybe a couple of Man U past and present teams, but nothing serious like an R9, a Cantona, a Jairzinho. They've always had him in a squad. It looks like they've made a challenge squad rather than just putting him in to their main team. So it's an interesting debate with him, whether he just didn't make it through the finish line of this year. The base will always be a solid card, and he's coming in at 390, SBC at 570, a 5-5 nonetheless. We've got to do him all due respects into that S, but unfortunately this year he doesn't make it into that S1 as of now. Campbell, on the other hand, nice little card, doesn't really pay off in my opinion. I thought he was one of them ones that you just get to kind of put into packs. I like him, but he definitely isn't the best left wing we've seen in the game. So, unfortunately, he will stick into that A. We then have Cahill as a 95 rate striker. Very much like Forlan. He has got the finish in front of goal. A little bit more pace, not going to lie. He is Prem as well. And the SBC isn't that expensive at just shy of 300,000 coins. A 4-star, 5-star is, again, got to go into that S category with absolute ease for the new footers. Then another one from the monthlies, the Bucha Anan, with obviously the super sub, nice premium. Whether I think he's really going to be that card that could go into main teams, he is premium, so he does get his links. He's a 5-4. In terms of Insigne, Kent, when we're looking at Harry Kewell, I don't think he's quite up there. I feel like he is a super sub of dreams, but most definitely not the main team, so we've got to drop him into that AS and kind of just sit with him around about there. Bruno Fernandes, nice and easy S category. Feel like he was such an upgrade. I didn't expect him to get a left wing, to be honest. I thought it would be more striker than anything, and Maguire might have been a winger or kind of a left back, centre defensive mid or centre mid would have suited him, but Bruno 97, never going to argue with. Bravo, on the other hand, is going to just come into that AS now. Again, like I said, when it comes to the nostalgic vibe now, Shapeshifter, it's mainly only for Cech. I don't think there's many, especially forwards, that I'd really, really want in my team other than your icons and maybe, yeah, your Pogba, I suppose, and Mahrez. Georgie Best will sit himself into that S. Again, one card that definitely needs the upgrade to take him to that next level, very much like Jairzinho as well. Berardi, on the other hand, again, one that really escaped me because he was really, really cheap to do. He was obviously the 91 into the 94 and also a 5-star, 5-star. So for me, a very easy one into this S, which takes us on to Big Boy Benz. Beautiful striker slash centre forward. Again, with him, I personally don't rate him massively. Previous years. When it comes to this year, gold card, trash, absolute. No one was using the gold card. When it came to the winter wild card, brilliant centre mid. Don't know how they managed to pull that one off. We then got obviously the team of the season. We've managed to get the award winner as well. In terms of Benz, he is absolutely stunning, but not into that S1. I feel like that is preserved. He can be an easy S category. Same with Ben Yedder. I feel like both of them are on that sort of level. They're not quite S1 in my opinion, but he is very, very, very close. Then Aubameyang, I absolutely love Aubameyang. I thought he was such a good started card. The road to the final, the road to the knockout. Went to a 91 so early on, and yet I never saw him. Unfortunately, he is controlled still at 6'2". Feel like the lengthy would have just added that extra level for him, but unfortunately, he will just sit in the S. If he was lengthy and had that extra bit of pace boost from it, I could have definitely gone with S1. Alvarez, though. Alvarez is immense. We loved this Future Star, one of my favourite Future Star cards of this year, and now we've got a 97 that's a 5-5 Man City striker. He is just end-game product. Then Awaran, one of the cards that has just been sitting on this team for months. Fantasy Foot came out ages ago and he is still as good as ever. Wouldn't say he's quite S1 anymore, but most definitely in that S at the minimum. Which then takes us on into Trent. Another good card, and I think in terms of an SBC value, was actually quite a nice card. So for me, I'm going to go into that S for him. I think he's kind of just on that cusp now. If we was to get, say, another 5 strikers that are S and above, I could probably see dropping him down that little bit. But I do think in terms of putting him at striker rather than centre mid, I enjoyed the striker. Same with Abraham. This card is a potential. We've only used him a little bit because he came out yesterday. But if he does manage to do a champs with Czech and is as good as Czech, then obviously he'll go in that S1. As preconceptions go, I'm going to stick with the S in my opinion, as I do think he is definitely not as good as Czech, but we will make that decision as we get into the end of the game. Werner's going to easily sit into the S as well. I love Werner. Very quick, always on the ball, and incredible shooting. And then finally, we're getting onto the few cards. I think Vlahovic is the same. Nice and easy S. And to be honest, same as Vitinha. I don't think he's necessarily getting too much higher. He's probably only dropping down now. I feel like Werner's probably the only one out of the 3 that in like another 2-3 weeks we'll get all of the cards that would stay in the S. Vitinha would probably drop. Vlahovic would definitely drop, especially, like I said, if we got more S1 to S rated strikers. And then finally, no, not finally, we have Vinny, 98 rated. It's 98 Vinny. We can't use him yet, but we know full well how good Vinny's going to be. I'm pretty sure he is a 5-star anyway. He is going to be insane. Yes, it is to finish the game off. We'll get it kind of late August, but they've given us a 98 Vinny for free. Just playing the game, I'm absolutely happy with that. 98 rated, what can you do? Then we also have Vardy, and it seems to be this list is going on and on and on. Vardy will go in the AS. Nice card, but unfortunately never really stuck this year. Van Persie, easy. Easy S1, very much like Eto'o. 5-5, incredible right wing. Could be left wing and right wing with a left foot on the right wing and a right foot on the left wing. Beautiful. And then Umtiti is the final one. No. Oh my god, we've still got so many. Umtiti, in terms of left mid, left wing, nice shapeshifter. Definitely in the moderate sort of side now. He isn't obviously a premium, which is where Links would overtake him in my opinion. But I do think in terms of pace and changing him from a centre-back worked really well for him. And finally, Torres is sitting in that AS, and hopefully we do see an upgrade for him, as an icon footies would have been the next point of call for me. So let me know down below what you think about this list. There is a lot of cards to take in, so if you want to just screenshot it, do whatever, then make sure you do. Let me know what you think about all these cards, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.